Welcome to today's episode of the AI Trailblazer podcast. Today we have a very exciting guest. He is none other than Yogesh, the founder and CEO at Gaston AI. So Yogesh, it's a great pleasure to have you here with us today. Let's start off with, you can share a bit more about your background and what led you to start Gaston AI.
Yeah, pleasure is all mine. Thank you for inviting me for this wonderful podcast. So, as you introduced, I'm Yogesh. I'm the founder of Gaston AI. We are based out of UK here in London. The before I think it's interesting to just give you context how it all started with Gaston itself. I grew up in India in a household where using food as medicine has been sort of a part of my upbringing right from the childhood. Whether it's to treat certain fevers or common colds or anything more severe, and that was uh, the point where it started building curiosity in me. Um, and as I grew older, I started seeing the impact of how food interacts with us, our body, our health, more and more. So that was sort of a spark has always remained in my mind. I then completed my engineering, master's, PhD, and then worked as a management consultant for a good 18 years. But I always had this curiosity in my mind that how we can simplify our understanding and our relationship with the food more and more. So I decided to launch Gaston. That was in 2019, so just before COVID, effectively. And obviously, due to COVID, like every business or every startup that started around that time, suffered with inactivity. We weren't immune to that. But yeah, since 2022, 2023, we started building the innovation in the area exactly that we wanted in terms of building those correlations between the food and more importantly nutrients that one should be consuming based on various factors with the objective to improve health outcomes.
Nice. That is a great starting story as well as, the origins behind Gaston AI is inspiring. So let's talk a bit more about the company. What kind of problem do you help to solve exactly, and for
Yeah,
is there
yeah,
any
sure.
particular specific audience that you help?
Yeah, sure. It's interesting question, and it's very timely one as well. Chronic diseases are on the rise, and chronic diseases, more specifically, if we talk about non-communicable diseases like diabetes, as in type 2 diabetes, cardiac disease, they are responsible for two-thirds of global deaths. And interestingly, most of the non-communicable diseases are preventable. So one would argue that like something that is inherently preventable, why is it causing the most number of deaths globally? So what we are trying to do is we are building correlation models using AI that understands individuals' health profiles. Um, and then if we identify the individuals are at risk, we can then recommend certain targeted foods and nutrients that they can consume, um, and with an objective to reverse or boost epigenetics. I'll give you a very interesting example. So uh, we have AI that analyzes blood data, so blood reports of an individual. And what it then does, it firstly analyzes users' current health. What's happening with them? Are their organs are aging in line with their current age or not? Or are there any specific risks that user has provided that they are going through due to predispositions that they have identified already? So we can build a very holistic view of what's happening with individuals' health. Now, the most interesting thing comes with which is stage two of our AI model analysis, where we can predict if an individual will go on and develop one of those chronic diseases or not. So our biomarker analysis has a predictive model which predicts the risk profile of an individual if they will go on and develop the cardiac disease or type 2 diabetes or not. We also have a model when an individual has already received the treatment for one of those chronic diseases, we can predict at what point this individual will require rehospitalizations. We can do both of these analysis with more than 95, 97% accuracy. So pretty accurate. And, and what we then do is once we understand that, we identify those food and nutrients that are right for individuals to consume by taking everything into account, their dietary restrictions, dietary preferences, nutrition preferences, or even nutrition restrictions. So food becomes no longer a myth to them, but it's a companion. It becomes a useful tool for an individual to stay healthy, but more importantly, live healthy for a longer period of time.
Yeah, exactly. So now let's talk a bit about your role within the company. What are your main responsibilities, and then how does it fit into the bigger picture at Gaston AI?
Yeah. So I'm the founder of the company. I started company as a solo founder. I'm still currently a solo founder, and my background has been in consulting, which helps me look after the business growth, expansion, all the activities that come through that. We also have an amazing team within the technical side. We are also building a core competency in nutrition. So company is kind of divided into four pillars. We have the commercial side, then the operations, health and nutrition, and branding and marketing. Now, health and nutrition is a key pillar for the company. We want to stay ahead in terms of understanding those correlations and building and relating that to individuals' biomarker on an ongoing basis. So my job is to make sure that we understand, keep our fingers on the pulses in the market, what's happening, which areas are more prevailing in terms of the demand perspective. Let's say if we talk about the diseases that we can tackle, so which one we should address first, to how we roll out our product strategy, so our innovations, how we can simplify our integrations to so that when we're ready to integrate our algorithms into our customers' infrastructure, it becomes almost like a plug and play. So anything related to the business side or the executive leadership style side is what I support or I get involved in. The rest of the activities are then managed and handled by the people in the team that we have.
Then what would you say are your goals for the company, let's say for the next 6 to 12 months? What are the major things that you would like to achieve?
Yeah. So in next 6 to 12 months, what we would like to do is obviously, as every startup, every founder will say, close our fundraise. So that's one thing. Fundraise is quite key for us. We have some strong interest from number of investors, but we would like to get this over the line. This funding will be predominantly utilized to strengthen our teams. So within health and nutrition and technical side, where we not only are building new hypotheses, but also then implementing those hypotheses in customers' environment as well. So fundraise is a key objective for the next 6 to 12 months.
Which
Commercially
stage of
speaking,
fundraising?
we are
Which
at
stage
seed,
of fundraising?
we are at seed stage.
Seed
Yeah.
stage. Okay.
Yeah. So we have some really interesting customers in the pipeline that we would like to start integration work. Things we can fast track by beefing up, let's say, technical teams, and then we can get into get our algorithms implemented into customers' infrastructures. We have some really innovative products and features for groceries that we have completed in the form of MVPs. We have received an amazing response to that. The grocery use case is effectively we have an augmented reality interface where, as a consumer, can hold their phones in front of the aisle, and anything that they can't, shouldn't eat, they don't see that. And we make smart recommendations based on their health profiles or health properties that we identified through predictive tools. That the better alternative of the products, where are they within the store? So we can make those recommendations in real time. So when we talk about our focus for next 6 to 12 months, it's going to be converting this into a beta product and even implementing that into a grocery environment. We have 2 grocery customers. They have now showed an intent to pilot out this innovation. So again, if we had more people who we can deploy for this particular use case, we have a really strong customers like base sitting behind that as well. So yeah, that's where it's going to be. Focus on 2 types of customers, food tech and groceries, for the next 6 to 12 months, and then have the investment closed out so that we can employ right type of resources and get that piece of revenues unlocked through them as well.
Yeah, makes sense. Then I guess as the founder, what sort of matrix are you looking for from these aspects in order to really try and measure the success and growth of a Gaston AI?
Yeah. So for us, obviously, revenue is going to be the key. Revenue is going to be key. Then the second metrics that we look at is the number of active users that are using personalizations within on our customers' applications. So if there is a food app, how many people have opted in to receive personalization will count as active users for us. Then we will monitor that, or we'll track that as well, because that's one of our key revenue drivers. Then NPS, so the customer success or customer feedbacks are going to be key for us as well at early stage. We want to make sure that we are growing organically as much as possible through applying the right mixture of innovations, but also thought leadership into the industry. So far, all the sales that we have completed is effectively via word of mouth. We have spent zero on marketing, and we have gotten customers who can then give us access to nearly 4.2 million user base on the back of that. So it's amazing what we have achieved, and we think that if we put conscious efforts behind sales and marketing and branding, we can achieve more. So that's the idea behind that.
Yeah, makes sense. So when you talk about, increasing revenue, getting the word out there, thought leadership, what are, I guess, the channels that you've been relying on? I know word of mouth is a big one, but are there any other channels that you are relying on in order to drive new user growth?
Yeah. So being part of various forums is an important, I would say, channel that can give us access to the type of customers that we want to speak to. Thought leadership is an important piece where, so I think what's important is for the audience to understand here is trust factor is extremely important for innovation like ours, because what happens is, if, as an individual, you need to be confident that the recommendations that you are going to see are relevant to you, are addressing your needs, and we put a lot of effort behind that in terms of making sure that the individuals do not get false positive or false
This
negative.
is something as personal as their health, so it's even more important.
It's even more important, exactly. So for us, that is the most important part. So what we need to make sure that, like, we remain focused on building that trust factor, or maintaining that trust factor into the marketplace. Um, so the consumers, when they see an app that says powered by Gaston, they will then trust, okay, we should be utilizing this app, or we will get streamlined recommendation, whether they're using grocery or food app. But as soon as they see powered by Gaston, the experience will not change for them in terms of the type of recommendations that they can get. So, which is a key or core part. So what we need to make sure that we pay attention on when we do our branding marketing work, that on that building and maintaining the trust factor for that. Now, when that happens, that automatically will create a pull effect for the users to go and sign up to the apps which say powered by Gaston. Um, and then the third core channel is going to be our own website. We are launching some really funful features on our website, where users will be able to utilize some core AI for free. And users, for example, if they want to look at health and nutrient and nutritional breakdown of any food that they're consuming, they can simply launch our website, and they can take a picture of the food that they're eating, and they will get that. All of that is going to be free to use for them, and that we will also activate for them to create an account and provide the information straight to us. So this way, we are creating a data pipeline from the consumer, which is owned and led by consumer, uh, um, where once we receive that information, we can start building those views. When they're taking those or trying to do those analysis, they become personalized for them. We have a corporate policy which will remain or embedded into our operation, which is that we do not sell and will never sell consumer data. Part of our trust building exercise or trust factor exercise, where every data that comes to us by consumer uh, never goes out of the company. We just use that solely for the purpose of building those correlations or personalizations for them. Which will remain sort of a red line for us. We will never sell this data to anybody.
Okay, that's great to hear. And then now let's talk a bit about some of the challenges that you have faced, or are facing now in your journey to grow Gaston AI.
Yeah, yeah. So I think the core. I think in terms of the challenges, we will divide into two or three core areas. One is access to information and data. So when we talk about data, how people are consuming food, how they're interacting with food, and when there are some mature user base where they're tracking and tracing everything, okay. Then if you look at the food ecosystem data, in some cases, mostly speaking in Western or developing countries, where it is readily available. When we talk about other countries, like developing countries, where, in my opinion, there's a huge potential to bring this AI into, and I'm part of UN-led AI for developing countries initiative, where we are trying to work on various initiatives, including public-private partnerships. What I've seen is that in those countries, access to that information and data, more specifically, is extremely scarce, and also users' understanding and the availability of advisory um, uh, support structure is also sometimes not there. So when we talk about the most vulnerable population, they need innovation like this. They are not getting the right support purely because the data unavailability of data. But as a whole, like, if you look at, one of the challenges that we face is availability of data, data sovereignty, and ownership of data. Right. So that is one of the biggest challenge that we continuously work through. Second part is for us access to talent. So our innovations, um, they have two direct streams. One is on health and nutrition side, which is where I was telling you that we have a core pillar within the company, and the other side, the technical side. Within the technical side, we look at the data scientists, machine learning, experts, where they can convert the correlations that we have identified and proven through health and nutrition, hypothesis testing initiatives into tangible products or services that we can then, or models that we can integrate into customer infrastructures. So it remains highly important for us that we keep an eye on what's happening, and making sure that the access to those talents doesn't become a barrier or resistance to us. Cost will inevitably go up because what's happening in the marketplace, the scarcity of machine learning, experts. So we are being mindful of that as well, considering the stage where we are, early stage company.
Okay, got it. So you mentioned a couple of points, the lack of access to talent and then also the data sovereignty issue, lack of data and information. So what are some of the steps that the Gaston AI has been taking to overcome some of these challenges?
Yeah. So as I was telling you, public-private partnership is something that I'm passionate about. I'm working with that as well because that will then unlock some of the barriers, because we create a co-creation approach within those countries where we want to work with. So that will then help us de-risk those, data access to data sovereignty part. We also so through public-private partnerships and my involvement within the AI for or AI for developing countries is an excellent, a platform for me to continue exploring this initiative. On the other side, like when we talk about the access to data, this is something that we are investing heavily in terms of either we create data pipelines where individuals can supply or provide information directly to us into our health record systems, or we build these organic pipelines through our customers where their consumers can provide information to us as well. And then when we talk about the food ecosystem data, we work with various databases, through collaborations, partnerships, where we can then access that information and then apply our AI to process the data. Because having an information about, I don't know, let's say a particular ingredient is enough for us based on the GITN and other information where it's stored. But then when we process it using our AI, where we can convert that information into nutrient and nutritional information, becomes really, really key. So that's how we're creating that data pipeline. And of course, I explained to you on our website, we are launching some cool new features where user can provide some core information directly to us. It will again become a new data pipeline for us. So we constantly evolve and invest in those areas.
Got it. And then let's say, you've touched on a couple of challenges already. Let's say hypothetically, if you had like a magic wand to fix one thing in the business right now that is either holding you back or slowing down your progress to get to your goals, what would that one thing be?
One thing I would. It's a very interesting question. So I think I focus on resource side more than anything else, because if I had a magic wand, I would, and if I can create 2 to 3 core technical individuals in technical team and 2 to 3 core resources within health and nutrition team, will be amazing, because that will then position us amazingly to to uh, to grow the business for next 12 to 18 months the way we have planned. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So it again ties back to your challenge earlier about the lack of access to talent in some way. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Exactly.
So what would that mean for your business exactly for the next 12 to 18 months? Like, does it allow you to have a higher odds of, securing the seed series fundraising, or yeah, what does it lead to?
Yeah. So if I understood your question correctly, that with the without the magic wand,
Yes, yes, with
how
the
what are
extra
my chances
resources.
of securing the fundraise? Right. That's what you're asking.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, correct. So without, I mean, like, look, investment is a vehicle to secure those resources, for example. So for me, investment will act as that magic wand. Now, how we can prove investors that we are a safer bet for them when you compare with number of other founders raising money as well. We are operating in one of the fastest growing sector within the marketplace, globally speaking, where precision nutrition or longevity become and the most popular streams, both on from the consumer side but also the operator side, where preventative care becomes a high on agenda by most governments as well. So we are able to show the demand, the fastest or the scale of demand in the marketplace to investor, but more importantly, the tractions that we have built as well. And as I said, all of this traction that was built was with zero marketing spend. So
Organic.
organic, exactly. So it also highlights the both sides. So there is a demand and there is attraction that then it enables investors, or should enable investors, to understand that yes, this is a safer bet for them to come in, and that will then act for us as that magic wand that you were asking earlier on to resolve some of those challenges, and then grow the company even faster than we have
Okay.
planned. Yeah.
To secure more resources, as you said.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Then going into, I guess, the last segment of our podcast here, what are some trends or shifts that you're noticing in your industry right now, and then how is that impacting the growth of Gaston AI?
Yeah. So I think that answer is again very interesting. Question is very interesting one, because it has two sides of it. One is the demand side of the consumers, individuals, people like you and I, how we are looking at different ways of staying healthy. Okay, eating healthy is core part. The environment that you live in, the exercises or the lifestyles that you adopt to are also important of individuals' overall health and well-being. What we've seen is that if there are a number of studies recently been done, including likes of McKinsey's. Some are run by the government themselves as well. What has come out is that if individuals were asked that um, what's the percentage of population that would prefer to have personalized food and nutrient solutions. So when the analysis was done, more than 80% population or respondents suggested that they would like to have personalized recommendations or solutions offered to them. When the analysis was extended, that how easy it is for the individuals to find those healthier or the food options that they are after, only 6% population suggested that it's easy for them to find food and food options that are relevant to them, especially in packaged food settings or restaurants also, for example. So on one side, there is a hugely growing, side that where consumers are looking for personalized food and nutrient solutions. On the other side is how the businesses are responding to that. they have recognized that they need to evolve from generic recommendations to something else to attract consumers even more. When we talk about moving away from generic to personalized, that's a big leap for some. And this is where we think that we can come in with, as I was telling you, plug and play model, where they can inject some of the innovations directly into their infrastructure without making much changes, which enables them to build that stickiness, that they are after. Businesses or food apps are currently struggling uh, with enormously high bounce rates when we talk when we ask them for the consumers with dietary restrictions or medical conditions. Those numbers are well over 70%. When you compare that to their average user bounce rates, which are around 34 to 38%. So you can see that how much business they are losing out. And simply by adding some of those personalizations that we have been working on, we can make a significant impact on their earnings as well. So does this all mean, for future of Gaston? We think that the demand is there or solidly growing. On the other side, the consumers are switching towards more personalized solutions, where they get to see products that are either made or are made available to them that are resonating to their bodily requirements, whether it's simple dietary preferences to even sometimes they don't even know those predictive tools that I was telling you earlier on. So they are really switched on with that. And on the other side, the businesses are also started to respond to that. I think another third sector that will come in play is the growers, so that agriculture, as well as the producer of the foods, where again, rather than looking at producing and packaging generic products, you can turn them into more specific or personalized products for the community that they are selling into, because obviously the consumers are now demanding it, so they will eventually will respond to this as well. Same applies to growers or the agriculture farmers as well. So rather than growing wheat in their farm, they will look at producing wheat that has the highest amount of nutrient per 100 gram onto their farms, because that's what that it will carry a huge amount of value when they're in the market selling as well. But again, these are long-term views, but we think that it will happen eventually. This transformation will happen.
Got it. Okay, that is very insightful, and it seems like Gaston AI is well positioned to take advantage of this market gap where there is a sky high demand and growing demand, but then there isn't as much supply to meet that demand yet. So yeah, very excited for the future of Gaston AI. And that is actually about it for the podcast interview. Yogesh, once again, thank you for taking the time to jump on this podcast and sharing these valuable insights with our audience. It's a pleasure to
Thank,
have you here with us
yeah,
today.
yeah. Thanks for the opportunity. Love talking to you. I hope your audience finds this conversation useful as well. Yeah, amazing. Thank
Yeah,
you very much.
no problem, Yogesh. You're welcome. And if the audience wants to find out more about Gaston AI or even yourself about the work that you're doing, what is the best way for them to reach you or
Yeah,
find out more about your company?
yeah. Of course. Of course, they can head to our website, www.gastonai.com. So that's GASTONAI.com. They will find everything that they're looking for. They can get in touch with us if they like what they see and they want to kind of run a pilot with us. There are various opportunities that we can integrate our solution, starting with extremely low cost or almost no cost to then scaling with them. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. So for anyone interested out there in personalized nutrition, feel free to visit these websites. Once again, appreciate it, Yogesh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Super.